Well, hey everybody. I'm back with another shoutcast, and today we have a Terran versus Zerg game. And if you've watched any of my audios before, you'll know that I'm definitely rooting for the Terran. Because first off, I love Terran because they're insanely badass. And second, I hate Zerg for a plethora of reasons. But if you want to analyze this a bit closer, just look no further than the names. KawaiiRice. Of course, you're going to want a guy named KawaiiRice to win the game. That's such an awesome name. I wish I thought of that first. That's a great name. No joke. And the other guy's name, Zelniq. Yeah, he would play Zerg, Zelniq. Anyway, without further ado, I present to you this Terran beating up the Zerg, hopefully. So let's get this unpaused in 3, 2, 1, now. Overlord, Overlord, moving out. And he's probably going to go scout the Terran real fast. I love how the Zerg players' farms their food supply. They get to scout with it. That's pretty cool, huh? I wish my supply depots could scout. Just kidding. My supply depots have other advantages. For example, I can block my base off with them, which is probably what we're going to see KawaiiRice doing, because he's rallied his SCV there. Yeah, he's going to block off his base using supply depot. And meanwhile, the Zerg is going to see. Let me just check the Zerg's view real fast. The Zerg has not scouted the Terran just yet. He's probably going to find him real soon, though. Yeah, there he goes. He sees him. As a Terran player, when I see an Overlord, oh, you just barely saw him. I'm not sure if KawaiiRice did see him. He might have. But you know, the Zerg definitely saw him. Anyway. For me, as a Terran player, when I see an Overlord this quickly, I scout immediately from the direction that it came from, because while that is lucky for the Zerg to find the Terran so quickly, I know that he must have came from that direction if he got here this fast. So, yeah. Then I just scout there immediately. I know where he's from, where he came from, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, you can just sort of estimate where he comes from. If it takes him forever and he comes from one side, then just scout the other side. Start scouting from the other side, if that makes sense. You'll probably find him right there, because he probably went around the entire map looking for you, and he found you at the very last spot. So yeah, anyway. KawaiiRice finishing up his barracks here. He's probably going to finish off that wall off with a last supply depot. And, let's see. No, he's not. He's sending his SCV out to scout. Sees this Overlord. Probably going to finish the wall off soon, though. He's morphing to Command Center, which will give him various abilities, such as Scanner Sweep. He's probably not going to use that right away. Mule, which will call down a Mule, which has the efficiency of about 6 to 8 SCVs. He's probably going to do, because early game's all about macro. And also extra supplies, which you really don't need this early in the game. And actually, I don't really see a lot of pros using it. In fact, I don't think I use it much either, unless I'm playing in team, in which case I have like 8 barracks set up, and I kind of need to call extra supplies, because my SCVs are busy gathering resource something. Yeah, the wall off is finished. I missed that. Tech lab going up. Oh, it's a reactor, actually. You'd think by now I'd know the difference when it's constructing. It's a reactor anyway. That means that we're not going to see Marauders, Ghosts, or Reapers. I guess it's no surprise that we're not going to see Ghosts against Zerg, but we're not going to see Marauders or Reapers, at least not from this barracks anyway, because that means he's only going to be able to produce Marines, but he can produce 2 at a time. So, he's got a factory moving out. I was expecting him to... Oh, he's landing it. Oh, he's going to build... Alright, he's going for a mech build, that's why. He's going to build Hellions. He's going... Okay, well, basically, KawaiiRice is going for mech build here. He's going to build Hellions. He's going to build Siege Tanks. He's going to build Thors. Hellions will take out the Zerglings. And meanwhile, they'll also be able to harass. See Zerglings coming in. Let's watch them get toasted, shall we? I love toasted Zerglings. My favorite breakfast. Alright, there we go. Marine finishes that one off. And the other Zerglings probably going to take it out. There he goes. It's so satisfying to watch their bodies burn up. Siege Tanks can take care of Hydralisks and Roaches. And they also have really great range. And Thors take care of Mutalisks. And that seems to be the common Terran strategy right now. I prefer the other strategy, which is the other common strategy at the moment, which is an early push with Marauders and Marines, because I do not like playing long, drawn-out games with good Zerg players. If they're bad Zerg players, then I can beat them with, I don't know, Mass Ghosts and Ravens or something. But, I mean, good Zerg players don't want to do a drawn-out game with them. So I prefer the early Marine Marauder push. But KawaiiRice is definitely going for mech, and with a name like that, I trust him. He's getting Banshees, too. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. Banshees will be a great harassment early on because the Zerg player is not going to be expecting that. And he surely doesn't have any anti-air. So you can probably take down a good... If he plays his cards right, maybe 3-4 drones before the queen comes. Oh, there's no queen here, even. That's interesting. Oh, here comes the queen. 2 queens, in fact. But he's gotten quite a few drone kills in the meantime. He got, what, 4 drone kills there? I lost count. I was looking out for the queens. But, oh, 3 kills there. He got 3 drone kills before the queens came. And so that was that's a definitely good return. It's making a second Banshee. I'd imagine they'd go one-shot some drones, because with 2 Banshees you can one-shot a drone. Hellions camping outside Zelniq's natural, and also Overlords camping around, 2 Overlords camping around the base of KawaiiRice. Reactor gets transferred over to the starport, and the factory gets the tech lab. So starport's done making Banshees, going to make Medivacs or Vikings. Probably Medivacs, since I don't see a Spire. I do see a Spire now, never mind. Although that's what the Thors are for, I guess. Or you could just use Vikings. No armory. Oh, wow. I'm great at this, aren't I? Armory up, so he's probably going to get Thors. It doesn't have the resources to. Thors training. And he's probably going to get Medivacs or Vikings. Since there's no infantry, I'd assume Vikings. But infantry's starting to create... He's putting up 2 more barracks, and he's just starting to build Marauders. So, yeah, Medivacs would be a safe bet. Let's check out the Banshees. 4 kills on one, 0 on the other. That's still a pretty good return. When you consider that it also takes them a little while to recover all the minerals lost because the drones aren't harvesting. Oh, this Banshee is probably going to get taken down. Here comes an Overseer. It's probably going to go down, though. It's kind of a waste of an Overseer. I'd assume... Oh, he's contaminating a building. That's really interesting. That means it can't build anything for a little while. Let's see how many seconds. Let me find out. 30 seconds. I was expecting a changeling, to be honest, but looking back on it, I mean, he has Overlords camping outside the base, so I guess he doesn't really need the changelings. Speaking of, can you see the Overlords? He actually can't see either Overlord, so that's great positioning by Zelniq on the Overlords. Some creep just got spawned where this orbital command is supposed to go. How'd that happen? Oh, there's an Overlord that's producing it. It's probably going to get taken down, though. Can't see why he can't just land it. Whatever. Alright, anyway. Mutalisks coming, and you can see they're pretty damn weak. That's because of the Thors. They got a splash damage on the Javelin missiles, and attacks 6 times 4, so 24 for 1 shot. Assuming, well, for the one Zerg, the one Mutalisk that it hits, and then any that stand near it in that time also get hit by that. Vikings also out. No Medivacs yet. I wouldn't be surprised to see any. I think Medivacs and Thors are both plausible units right now. I think there were 5 originally, so only 1 Mutalisk got taken out. Oh, second Mutalisk gets taken out, if I'm correct about my numbers. Orbital Man finally goes down. He's probably going to call a mule. There we go, 2 mules get called down. And some refineries are getting set up. Siege tanks coming out. Let's see, does he have siege tech research? Yes, he does. Marauders, yeah. Shocker there. I personally believe that Marauders, for their cost, are the best unit in the game. They have movement slow, they have a great DPS, are great against buildings, and Stim Pack just makes them absolute beasts. And they only cost 100 minerals and 25 gas. Great unit and tier 1, so great unit for their unit cost, if not the best in the game. 2 Medivacs coming out. Still with 1 Viking. I don't imagine you go too heavy on Vikings, because if you do, and he switches from Mutalisks, you're screwed. Plus, he didn't go two Mutalisk intense. He's only got 7. I guess that's not that much. But on the other hand, KawaiiRice only knows of 3 that still exist. I guess you can assume he's created more, but again, it's not too Mutalisk heavy. Mutalisk heavy, I mean, I've gone against people who've gone a full control group of Mutalisks, 32. Just put all their resource into that. So it's not too Mutalisk heavy. And then as you can see by the Zelniq watchtower here, there are 2 roaches, a zergling, and some banelings in play. So you can tell he's definitely going to do a tech switch here once he's done with this Mutalisk harass. More barracks being thrown down, probably because the expansion's up now. Banshees, the surviving Banshees, are taken down. And here come the Thors and the Vikings. Although they're not going to do a whole lot of good. Extra supplies were called down, as you can see here. And so I guess I was proven wrong. Pros do sometimes get extra supplies. I just don't see it that often. What else is going on? Mostly just, some Hellions being traded. Factory went back to the reactor, and Starport went to the tech lab, but it's still only producing medevacs. It's not going to produce a Raven. I don't think Ravens would be a good idea. Banshees would be an awful idea right now. There's just nothing a Banshee would be able to do right now. And Ravens, Raven, I didn't notice that there were that many Mutalisks. Although I still don't think Ravens would be a great idea. The Thors can handle them just fine. The only reason you'd go Raven right now would be for the Seeker missile against these Mutalisks, but there aren't that many Mutalisks, so I don't know if that's a great idea. Creep being spawned around the map, not as great as in that other game we saw, the one with the Protoss and the Zerg. Knighten as the Protoss. I don't remember who the Zerg was, but you can see the difference if you look at that game. See how many were how much creep was around the map at this time. About half the map was covered. I think that would make sense. Yeah, about half the map was covered about this time, I believe. Could be wrong. Hellions moving out. Hellions great for toasting Zerglings. Also pretty good against Hydras if the Hydras don't get to them first. Let's see, 142 for Terran, 159 for Zerg, so pretty even. Thors are going to be, I'd assume they're going to be microed against the Mutalisks, and the Terran's going to have to be very careful here. Banelings coming in, melting all of those Marauders. Thors got taken down, tank, and Mutalisks just cleaned up the rest of the Marauders and tanks. Wow. I was actually pretty impressed from the Zerg. I think the problem was there that the Terran didn't know that the Zerg had Banelings. And once those Banelings came and they melted all those Marauders, so Mutalisks then came up and cleaned up whatever was left. I didn't even notice roaches were fighting there. I mean, roaches were so insignificant there. Well, I guess insignificant's a bad word. I'm sure they dished out some damage, but yeah, what I'm trying to say. Quite a lot of Mutalisks. So I was wrong. I guess he wasn't doing a full tech switch. In which case Ravens might actually not be that bad of an idea. But he switched his starport back to the reactor, meaning he's getting Vikings probably. Oh, medevacs. Oh, right. Marines. He's got a ton of Marines there. He's got a reactor on one of these barracks, and he's got nothing on one of them, and a bunch of tech labs. Marauders are a great counter to roaches, but those Mutalisks are just gonna kill Marauders, so here come some Marines, but if some Marines get clumped together, they're gonna get screwed by those Mutalisks. Right now, Zergling, do we have any Zerglings? Yeah, we've got a clump of Zerglings by the Zelniq watchtower. I would assume that they're